As all the positive optimism behind Trey Lance in San Francisco seems to be fleeting, many have began to speculate whether or not he'll be on the move this offseason. In this video, I'm going to discuss whether or not I think it's a good idea for my Carolina Panthers to go ahead and make that move and bring Trey Lance to Carolina, and we're going to get into that right after this.
From the foe, you dig?
Welcome to The Way I See It with Jamario Rashad. This is a Carolina Panthers fan channel. Please do me a favor by hitting the like button, and please make sure you subscribe as I am on my road to 1K. Trying to get this channel monetized. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get to this video. Now, as I always do, I'm going to start with the positives, the good. What could Trey Lance bring to the Carolina Panthers? Now, the first thing I want to highlight is his age, as he is only 22 years old. He came into the NFL very young, very raw, but with a lot of talent and a lot of tangible abilities in his size, his speed, and the things that he could put on tape. Trey Lance is only 22 years old. That means that he is younger than two of the top 5 prospects in this upcoming draft, and he has already been in an NFL facility getting NFL treatment with NFL under an NFL training program, building up, taking the hits, understanding what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL for 2 years, while still being younger than guys that will have to come in and experience their rookie year this upcoming season. So his relative youth has to be seen as a positive in this trade, as you get a guy that is young with a lot of years ahead of him, not very many miles on his body, but he's been in the NFL for a few years to understand the game and how that works. As I mentioned before, he is younger than both Will Levis and Hendon Hooker, and he is actually younger than our quarterback that we drafted in the 3rd round last year, Matt Corral. So with all that being said, his age has to be seen as a relative positive if this hypothetical trade were to take place. Now, to move on, I believe that this would be a relative cheap trade to make, as retread quarterbacks that are still traded on their rookie contract usually do not demand much trade capital to go out there and get them, as they pretty much are seen as a failure at that point, or just not successful, not to add the failure label on them. But guys that get retread so early in their careers don't usually go for any more than a 3rd round pick, which is what I assume it would take to actually go out and get Trey Lance. And if that's all we would have to invest in him, that would mean that with our high draft pick this year, the 9th pick, a top 10 pick, we would not have to package that in a trade deal to go up and package our draft capital to move up and get a quarterback. We could actually use that 9th pick to draft a position player of need to satisfy other needs that this team does have, that is not just the quarterback, and we could see what Trey Lance would have, and that would allow us to do that in this draft while we still do have a relatively high pick. Now, those are the 3 positives that I can see most apparent that would come from this trade. But as you know, if I talk about the positives, I do also have to move over to the negatives, and I would have to say these may just outweigh a lot of what I said the positives of this trade may be. First off, his experience. He has only played in 8 games in 2 years in his career so far, and he's only started in 4 of those games. Now, just as I said, he's been in NFL locker rooms for 2 years, but he has not been on an NFL field for more than 4 starts in 8 games total. So he is relatively inexperienced. He has only thrown 102 passes. He has 5 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and he has rushed for 1 touchdown. His output does not warrant one to believe that he would have some colossal jump this upcoming season, because outside of raw potential that he had even dating back to his days in college, he has not shown that he is going to be able to progress at a steady rate in the NFL. So going out and making that move for a guy like this and actually trusting in him to potentially be a starter moving forward into the next year is a risk, and I don't think that that risk would be worth taking. He has only completed 55% of his passes. You would like to see that in the 60 to 65 range for somebody that you believe could be a steady passer. Although he has only played those 8 games, he has not shown a lot in those 8 games. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the potential of him being a curse of a good thing. Now, what I mean by that is, what if he's actually good, and him being a first round pick in the last 2 to 3 years, what his draft status and his play, what if that warrants a big contract and prohibits us, or it not prohibits us, inhibits us from being able to build out the rest of the team over the next 2 or 3 drafts, because rather than taking our own guy and setting the clock back to year 1, we took a guy in year 3 who, as long as he performs good in 1 year, he can demand a high contract, taking away our ability to go out and add those pieces that you see those title run teams add throughout the year, just making those pushes, saying is we're going for broke. We're gonna go out and add this guy, add that guy, because we have the salary to do it, and our team warrants that. Trey Lance being good too fast would not allow the Carolina Panthers to address the rest of their team in an adequate fashion to make this a team that is going to be complete. We have a young defensive core that is pretty good, but we still are missing very key pieces on that unit, and the offense is nowhere near where the defense is. And Trey Lance, even if he does progress this upcoming year, I don't see him and what I've saw out of him being able to take the offense beyond, to match up or even beyond the level of what we have in our young defense that in itself also has holes. So that would be, I believe that would be a curse of a good thing, because yes, we got good production from Trey Lance, but he is already on year 3 and extension eligible, so that messes up your money for the years coming, when you could have just taken your own guy and started from 1. Now, the final thing I want to talk about in terms of why I think this would be a bad trade is, we've seen this behavior before. We have been doing this for the better part of the last 5 years since David Tepper has taken over. We have done this retread thing over and over and over again. We saw 3 retread quarterbacks within our rotation in 17 games just this season alone. Over the last 4 years, we've had Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and even down to PJ Walker coming in. And it has been a constant carousel of mediocrity that we need to just get past, and we need to stop thinking that we can make another team's trash our treasure, because that's just not how it works. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. We have an opportunity to go out and get our guy. We have an influx of draft picks because of what we got for trading Christian McCaffrey. We have what do we have? We have over the next 2 drafts, we have 2 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and 3 third-round picks, thanks to trading Christian McCaffrey. So Scott Fitterer has the opportunity over the next 2 drafts to go after what he calls the sexy players. This is going to be a sexy draft. That is a quote directly from our GM. And I believe that he should have the opportunity, hand in hand with whomever we are going to hire as our head coach, hopefully Steve Wilks, to go out and build out their team and try to go and get it with their guys, not trying to retread somebody that didn't work out in another place. So I believe that that would be the best outcome or the best course of action for my Carolina Panthers to take. We've done this retread thing over and over again, and I do not want to see this experience. I do not want to see this experiment done whatsoever again. So in conclusion, man, do I believe that my Carolina Panthers should do this? If you don't know, if you couldn't infer from the words that I've already said, I think absolutely not, man. Trey Lance has not shown that he is somebody that is worth going out there and investing any trade capital into. He has not shown that he was better than Sam Darnold nor Baker Mayfield, and we have went out and got both them guys, and neither one of them worked out here. So why would we go out and why would we go out and get a third guy and just say what third time's the charm? BS, man. I call absolute BS, and that would be a terrible thing to do. So with that being said, man, those are my thoughts on this potential Trey Lance trade, man. I really don't like it. Trey Lance says as much of a prospect, I know you all might like him as a prospect. As an NFL player, he has not shown me very much, man. So keep him over there. We good with what we doing. But that is the end of the video. You all leave your comments down below. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe. I'm on my road to 1,000. And with that being said, man, this is the way I see it. I'm Jamario Rashad, and I'm out. Peace.